Aries. I always gotta straighten everything out once the camera goes on. Make sure my shit is fresh, you know what I mean? No, I can't really see myself because of my sunglasses. All right. Take what resonates and leave the rest. As you know, the drill. All right, here we go. There they are. Like, where are the cards? Oh, okay. That's what that was about. Oh, snap. Okay, so okay. Got a little bit more coming from the bottom here. A little bit more of an explanation as to what's happening here in this reading, which is why you clicked on it. Okay, so the entire time I was shuffling, camo was on the bottom. And then when I flipped the cards, it was natural instinct. So I'm like, okay, so something is hiding from somebody, and I have to use my natural gifts to bring it to the light. Okay, so why I know something's hiding is because that's the card that came out, the big Cancer. And you know, Cancer hides in your body, right? Very rarely do people even catch it. And when they say that, like, this is like, you're lucky you caught it, right? Not a lot of people can say that they're lucky they caught something before it killed them. Okay, so something's been hiding. And I think that it's somebody that's been very much angry with you. Okay, it's like everybody has a number one fan. Everybody has a number one enemy, right? Everybody has one person that hates them beyond belief. And you'd never think it was the person that it was. But without love, we couldn't have hate. And without hate, we can't have love, right? Like without light, we can't have, like, there can't just be all darkness. There can't just be all light. There can't just be all love. Like, there has to be the opposite of everything, right? Because we don't exist in a world so perfect, right? Like 10% of us is light when the rest of us is dark. And it's dark because a lot of people can't get their temples taken back over, right? So this is about somebody that I kind of feel like could possibly be taking back their temple again, right? Because something has been hiding in there and it's been a threat this whole time. And now you're cutting it out, okay? You could have had somebody close to you, really close to you, that acts like a drama queen on a regular basis. And you allow them to act like a drama queen because you enable them, right? People who enable people to do and perform very nasty actions and emotions towards them, really what it is you're destroying that person's life. Like, I just watched a show where a father covered up what his son did. And because he covered up what his son did, the son never healed from what he did. And he carried it until he died. because what parents think they're doing by protecting a child or by protecting somebody, really you have to let that person feel their wounds. You have to let them know that they did something wrong. You can't shelter and protect everybody, right? Which I feel like I watched this interview with a woman who was married, not married to a serial killer, but her son was a serial killer. And she thought it was her fault. You know, like she carries it as her fault because she sees it as, you know, the dad was obviously a very awful person, and because of the father, he raised the son to be like him, and then the son turned into something even worse than what he was, and the mother enabled it the whole time. Right? There's always an enabler that allows something to happen, and they think that they're doing it out of defense for a child or defense for a person, but enabling very nasty activity to happen isn't helping anybody. It's allowing that negative energy to live, right? So there could have been somebody in your vicinity that really carried lies with them, okay? And they were the soap opera. They were the actress in the room at all times. Everything is built around this person. Everything relies around this person. And that big person now is being taken out. And what they don't understand is that they don't understand that accidents happen. When people think that they're safe is when they're at their most danger. I swear, because nobody is safe. And even in your own home can burn down while you're sleeping. Right? Like nobody is safe. And I think giving that false impression that you were ever safe has entitled somebody to do something, right? And entitlement is one of the worst possible things that can be bred into somebody, because entitlement is as if it gives people the right to do whatever they want, like a little fucking key. Oh, you're entitled. There's your key to do whatever you want. And like these entitled motherfuckers are going to become untitled. Right? They're going to start paying for what they did. And money can't save you. Like, and I can see this dollar bill is just sitting there. It was on the bottom of the deck. And I think that sometimes people think that money is going to be able to buy them out of something. And it's not. It can't buy you out of everything. And I know that a lot of people think that they can pay people off and they'll just shut up. This person's getting cut out. Someone's getting cut out. Okay? And it's because life has stepped in. The scales of justice. Why do you think I have the scales of justice on my middle finger? When somebody pisses me off, I give them the middle finger for a reason. It's not to say fuck you. It's about to show them those scales. Like, do you realize the scales are so uneven for so many people? And it's that unevenness that gives those people the right to feel like they can do whatever the fuck they want to do. And if you feel like that says fuck you by a finger, then that's too bad for you. Because, you know, like that's the thing is, like, I watched my sister give the finger to a guy in public, and he road rage chased us for like fucking a half an hour. Like, we almost had to call the cops. A trucker saved us. He cut this motherfucker off so that he couldn't keep following us. This was in Toronto. Like, and it was scary just by flipping him off, because she accidentally cut him off and he made this huge deal and she gave him the finger and we almost died. Because people, like the littlest gesture can send somebody off the deep end. You can say to somebody, you can ask somebody why they did something to you, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, what? I'm the villain. I'm the one that does everything to you. Fuck you. And it's just like, all you did was ask them why they did something. If somebody hurts you, you have every right to ask them why they hurt you. And if they turn around and say that you're calling them a villain, or that you make it seem like they're the bad guy, then they most likely are. Why are they naming themselves the bad guy if they're not the bad guy? Right? Like, if you have every right to defend yourself, you have every right to ask people why they're causing such a scene, why they're lying, why they have to be the center of attention, and why they're hiding the way that they are. Right? Because accidents happen to everybody and you can't avoid them. Right? When monsters are around and they're wearing this thing called a mask, they hide behind everything and they ruin your life. And unfortunately, it's a lot of people that have money that are able to hide their truly disgusting habits of their life. Okay? Because this is a bully. There's a bully, okay, that you have been fighting. And the only way to get rid of a bully is to give a bully a taste of its own medicine. And if someone's been fucking with you, you fuck with them right back. And you give them a taste of what they've been giving you. People don't want to taste what they've been giving out to everybody else because they know it's going to taste like shit. Right? So you've been fighting this bully, this monster that's been hiding you. Okay? That has been slowly, because they're hiding you, killing you. right? And that has to be taken out now. This accident is going to happen, okay? Because someone's just, I think, been copying you, right? And it is, some people say that when you get a copycat, it's very flattering, but really, if someone's trying to copy you, I don't really see that as a flattering. I see that as somebody really needs to figure out who the fuck they are, because walking around and copying people and bullying people out of who they are because you're a fucking actress. And that's the thing, like now I'm getting like taking lives. Like this person just wants to kill people so then they can take on their identity for a bit. And then they kill the next person, they take on their identity. It's like this person just goes through people, right? So then they can take their identity and they can take who they are. And then once they don't like that personality anymore, they move on. Right? Grow up. Gross. Figure out who the fuck you are. Lucky number 13. We got loser, witch, and werewolf. So this witch, okay, this person that's been causing quite a riffraff in your life, okay, is transforming. They are in feminine energy, and when you're in feminine energy, this person's fighting catty, and that's why they're coming up as a bully, because that's what bullies are. They're nasty feminine energies, whether they're in men or in women, and they just try to nitpick at people, so then they'll walk away. Because most people, they're like a fly, you know, like you just don't want to fly, so you swat it away, and eventually you just end up walking away, right? Because the fly is dominating the fucking situation, and it's like this witch is like that fly, like you keep swatting them away and they just keep swarming your life and obsessing over you and obsessing over everything you're doing and acting like you. And it's like this person's going to have an accident, and once they have an accident, they transform into who they're supposed to truly be. Okay? And this accident, like who knows what this accident is going to be. This accident is designed to dismantle them in some way. Not dismember, dismantle. It's supposed to somehow like almost like unwire, you know, like somebody's system has to be taken apart because they cannot live in society without hurting people. That's kind of what I'm getting with it. This person has money, or they use money in some way, and like they're a loser. Okay, this person's a loser. And because they lose so much, they go and they take so much. Because they just want to obsess over people. And like, you got to be careful of those people. You know, the people that text too much, and the people that call too much, and the people that are just on social media too much and commenting too much. Those people are not in their life. Because if you're in your life, you do not have time like that to be on social media. You do not have time to obsess over people. You don't have the time. You're in your life. I remember one time when I had Facebook, I don't think I checked it for like a month. Like I didn't honestly, it's social media is killing us, and it's killing every fucking aspect of people, and they need to realize what they're doing with their social media, and that for the most part they use their media to attack other people, and that's not what it's designed for. Right? It's really designed so then the government knows exactly what you're doing at all times. And people use it as a platform to go and yell at other people because they don't have the balls to say it to their face. Right? So this is like somebody who hides behind a screen, whether it's a computer screen, whether it's a telephone screen, and they swap lives with people, and they take people's lives, and they take characteristics of people and things that they obsess about people, and they incorporate it into their life because they have no idea who they are and they don't know what they like. They won't just go to stores and figure it out on their own. They have to see somebody's life and go, oh, I want that, and then they take it because that's the easiest thing to do. This person's a thief. They're not going to manifest something on their own. They don't even know who the fuck they are on their own. Think they can manifest it on their own? There's no fucking way. Some people, it's like you just got to put a soother in their mouth because they're going to be a baby forever, right? They never want to fess up. They never want to admit to the things that they did wrong, even if it's to admit that you had a child and you weren't supposed to. I mean, at least fucking admit it. I mean, I think that if most parents admitted that they didn't want their kids, then fuck, their kids wouldn't have kids. You know, but because nobody admits things, and nobody admits when they hurt people, and they don't say when they do things, it never stops the cycle. Oh. I'm so English. I love my tea. I put so much sugar in it. Oh, sometimes my English really comes out. My Dutch is the most prominent in me, but my English side, it is really prominent these days. All right. I'm gonna get this witch here. I'm gonna figure out where she's coming from. And then I'll put a little bit of energy of you, and then this reading is done zizzle. Okay, give me this witch that's transforming into something else. Definitely not a werewolf. Ha! I was talking about the Netherlands. There you go. You might be Dutch. Not that everybody in the Netherlands is Dutch, but for the most part, that's the way it works. Okay, really? 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 Dutch and the Netherlands? Really? 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 Wow. I can't believe that. That's like blowing my mind that those cards came out together. There was something Dutch about this. And then the Ace of Swords. Okay, so this witch is definitely Dutch, okay, or Dutch ascendant, or they live in the Netherlands, and that's the truth, okay? This witch is changing. The Netherlands is really haunted. So, yep, there it is. What did I tell you? Witchcraft. Slow ass person. So there's the Knight of Pentacles. And then the Queen of Wands. Fire, angry. So this is the witch that did this. So they used some type of witchcraft. Some type of very slow moving witchcraft. Because they were very angry with you. And they lost in some way. And that loss forced them to duplicate you. Okay, well to me that doesn't seem romantic. To me, what that seems like is possibly somebody's mother or somebody's father who's, you know, like child, like you, okay, you left. And then they ended up doing something to you because you left. It's like a mother or a father that got angry with you for something, and then by getting angry with you and telling you to leave, telling you to get the fuck away from them, they started duplicating and copying you, so then it wasn't so hard that you weren't there. I think that's what it is. I think that's why my nose got itchy. That seems to be it. It's like because you are a part of your parents, like you are your mother and your father put together. You're the mat, like you're the product of two things, right? And so they know that you carry characteristics of them and characteristics of their partner. So then they just started duplicating you, and then it wasn't so hard that you weren't at the dinner table. It wasn't so hard that you weren't around, because they were shining a piece of your personality through them. Wow. And you know, like, now I'm kind of getting, like, I mean, like, I'm sorry, but that's what a parent deserves. Like, you know when you watch those movies and a parent loses a child who was never really paying attention to the child to begin with, and then once the child dies, their whole life falls apart, but they never cared about the kid while the kid was there. So then you watch them go through this whole transformation of crying and changing their life and realizing how shitty they were, and now they want the kid back. It's like, of course, you always want what you lost back once you realize that you lost it, right? It's one of those things, like, People are so, people are so scared when their dog runs away or something. And like, I remember my dogs, they never ran away. I could keep them off leash. Even if they wandered around, I called their name, they came right back because they didn't want to leave. Dogs who run away from their owners, they don't want to be with their owners. They want to run away. Right? So if you're the dog that runs away, it's because your owners, your parents, they're doing something wrong and you're noticing it, and that's why you run away. Things that want to be with you stay. They don't go anywhere. Right? Like, I couldn't pay my sister's dog to run away from me. I couldn't. I couldn't pay to get him to go away. The second I turn my back to walk to that car, he's beside me. He could be a mile away from me in the middle of the woods. If I start walking towards the car, he knows. Think he's gonna stay in the woods? But I've watched friends of mine dogs who have gone into the woods and it takes them 5 hours to get their dog back. Like what does that tell you? Right? And when you really step back and you look at something, and when you stop playing victim and you start realizing that there are mistakes that you make personally that you've got to take responsibility for. And then once you take responsibility for your life and for all the mistakes that you made and for the things that you did wrong, hence when you start asking questions, right, of the people who have done things wrong to you, right, then I really think you've got things in control. Right? But you've got to admit first what you did. And then once you admit that, you can move forward. Right? And it's like this person I'm getting is like, I don't know what that was all about, but I do understand why I was saying it. I don't know why it's getting looped around again. But I do know that somebody abused a position and lied their way through it. And then they became that disease that started eating you alive because it wasn't energy that you're supposed to be around anymore. And when you leave yourself in toxic energy because of somebody else, because they're playing drama queen and they're lying about a bunch of shit, like this person's going to experience an accident because all that acting was all turned into witchcraft. It was all turned into, and that's the thing is they might not be sitting around lighting candles and chanting. That's the thing is some people are so natural at dark evilness that they just say something and it happens. That's the thing is some people were born with very magical powers, believe it or not. And with this Queen of Wands, it makes me believe that they were born with some type of power. And Dutch people are very, very strong-willed people, okay? They're like brick walls. You can't move them. And if you want to try to move one, there might as well be giants, even though they're not. The Dutch people are very resilient like that, okay? And it seems like this person, they just kind of like put their feet in the ground and they said no. As soon as you came walking up, like you are not gonna pass. When the whole time they're lying about their position to begin with, right? And they're just doing things because they're angry at people. And that's all it is. So when this person forever changes, like let's see what their transformation is. 5 of Pentacles. Oh, they might lose all their money, okay? And when you lose all your money, that tends to really open up people's eyes because a lot of times they don't realize that they could lose something, especially their money. A lot of people think that they've got their money on lockdown until all of a sudden they spend it all and they don't know they're doing it because it's always a demon that comes in and takes their money. It's always a demon that comes in and fucks with you with the second you think you're safe, especially if you're an evil ass person and you think you're safe, right? Look at this. We got the Ace of Swords again, but it was in reverse with this King of Cups in limbo here. Like this person, I think, was supposed to be some type of guardian for you, okay? And they weren't. So I believe now that the watcher becomes the watched. Right? Like now they don't have the authority to stand in their position anymore. That now they've lied too much and they've abused their power, right? So the universe steps in and says, you can't have this position anymore. Queen of Swords in reverse. They know that this woman has been lying. And it's very hard to determine that people are lying. It's not easy. Like, I mean, you watch these crime shows and you watch these detectives and nobody admits that they did anything. That's why there's detectives. Detectives have to go out because nobody admits what they do anymore. Even though they know they're going to get caught. They just, for some reason, think that they're going to be that lucky 1% that doesn't get caught. But just because you don't get caught in 3D doesn't mean you haven't been already caught in 5D. People got to remember that. They always think everything is so cut and dry. Everything is so white and black when it's all in the middle, man. Everything is relative. Everything that you do is written down. Everything that you're a part of is written down. And when you think that you're in the clear and that nothing's going to be, like you're finally done your mission or you finally don't have to have anything follow you around or writing anything down, that's just the beginning of another phase of somebody writing everything down that you do, right? And recording everything that you do. Like, it's a fickle place to be here on earth and actually think that you're going to get away with something, because nobody gets away with anything, because then you die. That's what's so stupid with people, is like, you might think that you can get away with something in 3D, but you're never going to get away with it in any other dimension. That's how stupid they are. And if they believed in anything other than themselves, they would realize that. Okay, and let's get something for you. Like, this person's been very obsessed with you, okay? And 6 of Cups, 4 of Cups, they might have wanted to swing with you or double date with you or be in a relationship with you. Maybe they wanted to get all twisted up with you. Maybe they wanted to start having some orgies with you. Like, something was very obsessed with you, okay? And that obsession fucked with them as well, because you should never be obsessed with anything like that. Like, nothing should say obsession, anything. Like, you could love something so much, but never get obsessed with it. Obsession is violent. It's too much on a stage in the center for something to handle. Okay, so I think with the 6 of Cups and 4 of Cups, I think it was something like somebody just put way too much attention onto you, and that attention got them obsessed, and by them becoming obsessed, it started to ruin your life, because then you start getting spells involved. Like, I saw somebody, after I told them off, I saw them immediately try to do a spell. And I came in and I threw their energy right against the wall. And I said, stop doing spells against people, because you're not getting the outcome that you think you deserve. If you're not willing to talk and you're not willing to try and you're not willing to open up, then doing spells against people is fucked. Like, you're going to feel that shit times 3 the second you do a spell towards somebody. Even if it works against that other person, any spellcrafter knows that you feel that energy almost before the other person feels it. Especially when it's done out of pure hate. Hate doesn't know how to travel like that. And words, you've got to be very careful with words and very clean and cut and clear with what you're saying with words and what you're saying with spells, because what is said in one person's mouth can be perceived in another person's mind completely different. Okay, we're not all on the same frequency. We all don't operate on the same lines. We don't all learn the same things. We don't all know the same things. So how the fuck can we all perceive one answer all the same way? It's never going to happen, right? So I think this person really tried to, and now I'm getting the smell of cedars. And the thing is, the smell of cedar, I am obsessed with, okay? And I'm obsessed with it to the point where I will go to the woods after it rains just to smell the cedars. And I will like go up to a cedar and like hump it to smell the cedar. Okay, my sister and I get actually kind of obsessed with it. I just heard her cough and realized that, like, we'll grab the leaves of a cedar, and you know how you rub against it to get the oils, and rub it all over our face. Like, I am actually obsessed with the smell of cedar and the smell of eucalyptus. And I've had to control that smell, right? Like any obsession is not good. Okay, not even having a smell obsession is not good. It's very unhealthy. You have to be able to balance things out. People don't really know how to balance. And I'm trying to really teach and influence myself on how to balance things along with my sister, because we didn't have a very balancing growing up, it was, parents very unbalanced, very stressed out situations all the time. And now we have to learn to balance ourselves and to not let ourselves get unbalanced, because then you try to rebalance too much. And it's like, then you go back and forth like a teeter totter, right? Really like try to, kind of calm yourself down now, because this person that's been infecting you so much is now going to experience an accident like no other. Right? Because when you push accidents onto people, and especially if you're prone to accidents and you pay attention, but things are happening around you and you're like, okay, this isn't me. This isn't how I do. I watch myself. Why am I stubbing my toe? Why am I hurting myself? Because someone's pushing dark energy onto you because they're angry with you. And usually it has to do with sex. It's as petty as that, as money and of sex. And like, you'll see people admit it in the end, why they did things. Sex and money. Right? And power. And that's really all it's about. And that's people living very unbalanced lives. Right? So I think that there's a lot of balance that's coming in, which is why the scales come in. Like, this is really going to balance you. Okay? And, getting you out of this, it's like you might not have been able to move for a while. And suddenly, I think you're going to be able to move. Right? I think you're going to become a kid in a candy store. I think a lot of things are going to open up for you now that this energy is gone. Now that the spell has depleted. Oh, look at that. British territory. Okay? Like, I really feel like something totally different and unexpected is going to open up to you. You might get a couple of job opportunities. You might get some free flow of money come in. You might get a lot of something suddenly come in, like something that you're not used to having happen in your life now is going to happen, because the person, oh, look at that, happy moments. That's the thing, a lot of happy moments are coming in for you now, and that are going to be coming in and lined up for you, because this person no longer has control of you. And that's just the way energy works. So thank you, Aries. There's the teamwork. You might be getting with, working with a new team soon, adding members to your team, whole new energy. Because somebody just wanted to play like an asshole and take over your life. I can't make this shit up. It's in the cards. So thanks for watching, Aries, and peace out. And always remember to love each other.